and you've worked with so many tremendous people. You know what? Here you go. How is it? How do I ask this question?
Yes.
How is it when you have to deal with those personalities, those egotistical, hard personalities when you have to do what you have to do? I don't want to ask who was like the a-hole or anything like that.
Right.
But in this business, you come across them.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
And you have to play for them oftentimes or make music for them.
Well, this is the thing. In 2005, that's when my career changed, and I didn't have to do anything I didn't want to do. Because that's when I got signed, and I was doing my own thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So whenever I got into a situation that I realized, I was bye-bye. Quickly.
Would you really?
Oh, I've done that quickly. I've done that to a few artists.
Oh, I want to ask. Oh,
I'll say a name.
Let her rip.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Lauryn Hill.
What?
Why you do Lauryn Hill like that?
No. Why she do me like that? I mean, if you ask any musician, most people wouldn't know unless you know musicians that's played for her.
Mm-hmm.
But I did a show with Lauryn. This is 2008, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
It's from Mont Blanc Jewelry Corporation. Right? She's getting $500,000 for this show. It's a 20-minute show. My friend was the MD. He said, Rob, we're doing a show in LA. You want to do this show? Mind you, 2 years prior, she had been calling me, trying to get me to come to her house to audition. I'm already a signed artist. I'm traveling the world doing my own thing. I don't do auditions. So I was like, sorry, I don't do auditions. If you want me, you can listen to my album.
I like you.
You can do like that, but I'm not auditioning. I don't audition.
Now, Rob, that could have came across a little.
No, but this one thing, she was calling me talking about play for me over the phone.
What?
I'm not doing that. Yeah, can you play over the phone then? Blah 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 blah. Like I'm like, no, but I do have albums out. #1 jazz albums on the charts. If you like, you can check those out, and then you know what I mean. But I'm not auditioning. That's just I'm not. So then my boy's like, yo, Lauryn has a show in New York. Do you want to play? I'm like, all right, what's the deal? He's like, we're rehearsing for 1 week for a 20-minute show. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So we rehearse a whole week, like 10 hours a day. Every day she comes in and changes the show, changes what she wants to do. Completely. We're like, okay, so, anyway, the last rehearsal, she doesn't show up. Her manager shows up and says, Lauryn's not really feeling the way you guys have been learning the music, so we're going to cut your pay in half. The last rehearsal, the day before the show, we're going to cut your pay in half. First of all, we won't get paid that much anyway, but understand she's getting $500,000. So seriously, you're going to take these 5 musicians and cut their pay in half?
Okay, do you feel like y'all were messing up, though?
Not at all. It was a super band. Not at all. We weren't.
I seen Robert Glasper.
No, but that's a fair question.
It is a fair
question.
We weren't. No, but she has the thing of she likes to fire bands. I can rattle off 15 guys off the top of my head. She will go on tour with a band, and in the city that they're doing a show, she'll hold auditions for her band.
Wait a minute.
Who does that?
Say that again now.
She'll go on tour.
Yeah.
This happened to one of my boys, a few of my boys, but this one particular, they flew to Japan to do shows in Japan. While she's in Japan, she's holding auditions in the hotel, in the ballroom for her band.
Damn, that's gangster right
That's
there.
super gangster.
That's gangster right there. Lauryn Hill a gangster, man.
Super gangster. And nothing's wrong. It's not, the bands are good. She gets the best musicians. The bands are always good. She just has a thing. I don't know what it is, but it's a thing. So anyway, so the last rehearsal, they go around to everybody like, y'all cool with that? We're cutting pay in half. You cool? You basically like, if you're not cool, you can leave. I didn't need that gig. I'm making money on my own. I have my own career at that time. I'm like, well, I was eating a beef patty. I never forget it. I was eating a beef patty, and I was like, when I finish my beef patty, I'm going home, so y'all can do what y'all need to do. But look, I'm the principal. I'm the piano player. I'm the principal piano player. I know they need me.
Right.
The gig's tomorrow. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I'm going home. I walk out. The manager runs, and first of all, before she even came in, the MD, my friend, was like, just so you know, don't look her in the eye. Call her Miss Hill.
So these rumors be true like
That's 100% true. 100%. Don't look her in the eye. Don't and you have to call her Miss Hill. Don't look her in the eye. So in one of the days in rehearsal, she was like, Robert, I need you to blah blah blah. I was like, okay, Lauryn. Respect, I respect. Respect. You know what I mean? You can't come into a situation, especially when you've already stolen all of my friends' music. Miseducation was made by great musicians and producers that I know.
Oh Lord.
Personally.
Go ahead. What you talking about?
Let us speak.
You know what I mean?
Oh Lord.
So if you got a big head off of music that you didn't even write. You feel me though? You got a big
Robert, you know she gonna hear this.
100%.
Okay.
I could care less.
This show is known for getting people.
I'm ready. I don't care.
Oh my goodness.
Because nothing I'm saying is a lie. Point to me where the lie is, then we can have a conversation. But if she looks at it, it's very true. It's 100% true.
Yeesh.
That's why they got their money. You know what I mean?
Didn't know this was going to be a controversial interview with Robert Glass.
Hey,
And that's why she rearranges the music on the tour, right?
yes, all kinds of stuff. But look,
Oh, that's why.
Just checking.
I was wondering why.
I guess that, whatever. But what I'm saying is this: I went into it knowing, okay, you steal music. You know what I mean? I knew that.
Oh God. Okay.
But look, this is my thing.
Oh God.
I met
Steal music.
Look, Lauryn Hill. Look,
Holy crap.
I've met Stevie Wonder and hung out with Stevie. I've met Quincy Jones, hung out with Quincy Jones. I've met Herbie Hancock, hung out with Herbie Hancock. If
Great.
those three people can be cool, Lauryn Hill should be able to be cool. You haven't done enough to be the way you are. You just have not. The one thing you did that was great, you didn't do.
All right, Robert.
No, we want to know, Hatter.
That's where I'm at.
Where y'all at? Come on, Cooper. You usually doing the rap song.
No, it ain't happening.
We got time today.
I'm out here. Look, I'm out here.
So you trying to say she didn't make the classic
man.
album?
No, we're not.
Look, what I'm saying is she took the credit for making the classic album. Those songs were written by other people, and they did not get their credit. She likes to take credit so she can become this super person. If you're a super person, you're that talented.
Do it again.
Do it. You feel me? She couldn't tune her guitar in rehearsal. We were in rehearsal. She had my boy Benji tune her guitar. Benji. She would come in rehearsal like this.
I thought we was going to have a nice conversation about the hometown hero.
Look. She would come into rehearsal and say, Benji, guitar. And just hold it out like this. He would run and tune the guitar.
Oh, God. Okay, no more stories. No more stories.
This ain't live. You can edit this later. Look, I'm telling you the truth. So anyway, I leave rehearsal. I'm like, I'm eating my beef patty. I'm leaving. I leave rehearsal. They run after me. To the middle of the street. Like, what can we do? I say, well, before 4 o'clock, you can wire all my money into my account because now I don't trust y'all. So if you want me to do this gig, you have to wire my money into my account within 30 minutes. That's what you can do. So I waited. They wired the money to my account, and then I went home. I didn't do the rehearsal because they are disrespecting me. I went home, and then I came back and did the show. I did the show the next day.
How'd the show go?
It was great. It's 20 minutes. We like 4 songs.
How can it go wrong?
But I will say this. There was one joyous moment in that week. There's a song called DooWop, right? Starts off with the piano. Bling, 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 bling. So one day she was just being a real, and I'm like, okay.
Holy jeez.
So she was like the DooWop. Instead of doing DooWop, I went bloom, 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 bloom. That's the intro to Joyful Joyful. She looked at me and sang a verse and a chorus. We did a verse and a chorus of Joyful Joyful. And then she looked at me and was like, okay, back to this. So for a minute and a half, we got the Lauryn.
Normalized.
Yeah, she normalized and became. So it's in there. I really feel like she's in. If something happened, people can change.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm not shitting on her forever. And I'm like, coming up. But that's just stuff that really happened. And you're going to have to take accountability for it at some point. You know what I mean? And then you're good. Like Maxwell, I used to play with Maxwell. I was playing Maxwell's the whole Pretty Wings 2009 to 2014. The nicest guy, one of the nicest artists I've ever played with. Good guy. Whenever he came to Houston, I was on piano. Like great guy. But he'll tell you, he was like, man, my early years, you couldn't have been in my band in my early years because he said I was a whole different person.
Really?
He was a whole different kind of dude. Like,
And he can be honest and say that I was tripping.
he was tripping. He said it, and he wasn't like that with us at all. You know what I mean? At all. So people can change. You know what I mean? So I hope she does change. But those were real things. She disrespected a lot of people, a lot of musicians with families just cutting you off. We just did something together, but it was remotely. You know what I mean? We did a tribute to Nina Simone album. Mm-hmm. It was called Nina Simone Revisited. She produced the first half, and I produced the second half of it. So I produced the first half. She sung all the songs, and she used her band. Mm-hmm. The second half, I used other art. I used Jasmine Sullivan. I used Andra Day. Oh, nice. I used Gregory Porter. Nice. I used Usher. Wow. I used Mary J. Blige, and I used somebody else. So that's like half and half. But it's on. You can get it anywhere on any platform. But we're in the same room. But RCA was like, Robert, we want you to produce this album. And then they came to me a few days later like, Lauryn wants to do it too. Will y'all do it together? She'll do the first half, do the second half.
Wow. Well, you've took my breath away this morning.